WNST Towson this weekend for Vikings and Ravens. Luke's on the backfields out in Owings Mills, and a big reminder to everyone, Friday night, it is a Dundalk High Hall of Fame induction night. They're inducting me somehow, some way, crazily into the Hall of Fame at 4:30 on Del Valle Avenue. 6 o'clock is the game, and we're going to meet over at Costas after 7 o'clock for some beers, some crabs, some crab cakes, some pit beef. My family will be there. Come on out. Toast my mom. If you're a Dundalk grad, we'd love to see your face in the place, and there's a lot of things going on right now in the sporting world. I mean, obviously, the NBA season started, an awful Hayward injury. We got LCS, AL, and NL in the World Series ahead next week, and the damn Yankees. But we also got hockey, and the Washington Capitals skated a little bit, at least, at home on Tuesday night against a team that was very, very pesky for them in April up in Toronto. I was up there when that building was on fire. The Maple Leafs shut out the Capitals at home on Tuesday night. Ed Frankovic now joins us live via satellite from halfway. We call it Columbia and Howard County, to discuss the Rock the Reds, who didn't really rock much on Tuesday night. Boy, heavy legs here early in the season, Ed Frankovic.
Yeah, the Capitals are in a bit of a rut right now. They've lost 4 or 5 games, and they lost Matt Niskanen, arguably their best defenseman, Friday night against the Devils. That one win in those 5 games was their best game of the season against the Devils, and they played a complete game, and it looked like they were putting some things together with some young players in the lineup. Niskanen goes down. They go into Philadelphia. That was a schedule loss right there, and they got bombed by the Flyers in the Flyers home opener, but you throw that one out the window and you come back and hope you can put something good together against Toronto, a team you've had a lot of success against, and it just didn't happen. The team's just not playing well. Several guys didn't have their legs, and they've 0-0 going in the third period, and they give up a goal on a giveaway by their young defenseman, Christian Juice, a terrible pass up the boards, and Braden Holtby really kept the team in the game for a long way. So the Capitals got a lot of issues they need to work out right now.
Well, let's go one by one. Scoring goals, they had 0. That's kind of hard to do for the Capitals, right? To play a night like that. And look, the Maple Leafs, thought to be a much improved team here this year. They're supposed to be, a top 4 team, I think, this year based on all the young guys they have. They've played some nice hockey. They've gotten off to a nice start. They're playing well right now. But it's a game like that that'll give them even more confidence because defense was never sort of their strong point. I mean, that was not their game last year. I'm sure organizationally, all offseason, that's what they've talked about, cutting down the goals. And to go into Washington, into that rink, even on a sleepy Tuesday night, and hold the Capitals in check, that's going to be as good a game as they're going to play all year.
They definitely have issues on the back end and in net, and Frederik Andersen has played well against the Caps historically, but his save percentage was under 90 coming into the game. I mean, this was really on the Capitals. They did not play well. Their forwards are really struggling. Out of Ovechkin, Oshie, and Backstrom, you're not getting any goals. 7 games. That's not going to get you in the playoffs. And you look at Andrei Burakovsky and Evgeny Kuznetsov. I know Kuznetsov has 11 assists so far. Those guys have 0 goals. 0 goals from 2 guys in the top 6. That's just unacceptable. I mean, when Andrei Burakovsky's highlight of the season in 7 games so far has been a fight he got in to protect a teammate in New Jersey, you got problems. So Burakovsky is a big problem right now. Kuznetsov, way too fancy. These guys are back to playing this perimeter game. They're not going to the hard areas. I really think Coach Trotz needs to shake some things up. I think he needs to infuse some energy in the team. I'm listening to his post-game press conference. I don't think the coach doesn't seem to have a lot of energy. So, this is a long season, but this Eastern Conference is going to be very, very tough. And they cannot be giving points away right now. I know Niskanen's out, but they've got to find some fire and some energy. TJ Oshie's playing well. Nicholas Backstrom's playing well. Alex Ovechkin's playing well. But after that, there's not much going on up front. The forwards are not delivering. They have issues on the back end, but they knew they were going to deal with that. I like the way Madison Bowie played on Tuesday night. But the guys like Carlson aren't playing well. Dmitry Orlov is off to a poor start. They've got a lot of guys they were counting on, they gave money to in the offseason that just are not playing well right now.
We're 7 games into this campaign here, and the Capitals at 3-1, and 7 points. If the season ended today, and of course it doesn't, 7 games into the season, they would not be a playoff team at this point. And, you know, I think over the weekend, the Philadelphia beatdown on my birthday, we did not discuss this at all, Ed. I have to go backwards. You know, it's been an ugly week for them, you know, starting with the Niskanen injury and then just how poorly they played in the last couple of games. The shake-up part of this in the early part of the campaign. Look, Trotz shook things up last year, right? I mean, you know, we saw that early in the year. There were questions about lines and who was going to skate with whom and when they were going to find a groove. They did not get off to a great start last year.
No, it wasn't. It was. I think they were 3-2-1 at one point as well, and but they had some guys you knew, some veteran guys that were going to produce, right? Justin Williams and Marcus Johansson. You know, Andre Burakovsky, this is another season where he's gotten off to a poor start. There's a pattern here. And this is very concerning because they basically said, all right, we're going to lose Marcus Johansson because we believe in Andre Burakovsky. And he's got to start delivering because he takes too long to shoot the puck. He's too tentative on the ice. He's really playing some poor hockey, and they need this guy to be a top 6 and step up. And to be honest, if I'm Coach Trotz right now, I'm going to bump him down to the third line, send him a message because he's just not getting it done. Maybe put him back with Burakovsky. I mean, with Eller, and Eller missed the game on Wednesday night too with an illness, the third line center, and then Tyler Graovac goes out 3 minutes into his night. So they were shorthanded at center, but still, these guys got to step up. Somebody's got to help Ovechkin, Backstrom, and Oshie, and Burakovsky's the guy with the bullseye on his back. He's the guy that's got to start playing better. So some type of message needs to be sent to that guy. He's got to just go to the net and get a tipping goal. I mean, even Jacob Brana, who came up from Hershey, he has his moments where he plays a lot of perimeter hockey, but he's gone to the net and got a couple goals. You know, Burakovsky's got to do that. They expect more from him. Kuznetsov, too fancy, too many passes. Shoot the puck. You become a one-trick pony. It's like in football. When you throw the ball every time, the defense knows what's coming, and Kuznetsov is too pass happy. He needs to start shooting the puck.
Well, the games kind of came fast and furious, and the travel this week now, a little bit of downtime, a couple days down before Friday night. They go to Detroit to take on the Red Wings in the new rink there. Saturday, a quick one back against the Florida Panthers. Then they get 5 more days off. I would think this is going to be a big teaching week for Coach Trotz around some of the younger players, the Jews, the guys that are just getting on airplanes and rolling around and playing in the league for the first time. There is a breaking in period that, quite frankly, Trotz hasn't had to deal with much around here because it's been so much veteran-laden talent, right?
Yeah, he has not had to deal with this, but he should know from his Nashville days, how to get guys in and get them going. And you got guys, Christian Hughes on the back end, you have Madison Bowie on the back end, but you have Nathan Walker. I think Nathan Walker should get bumped up in the lineup a little bit, maybe to send a message to some of these other guys. At least that guy skates and he's willing to put his body in there and hit. Brett Connolly's not playing very well right now. They need to do some shaking up. I'd like to see the lines mixed up. They will definitely get a good hard practice in on Thursday. Wednesday they have a team bonding event, so it's already scheduled, so there won't be any practice time. And then Friday in Detroit, and Detroit's not a very good team. They're not expected to make the playoffs. They are off to a decent start. So, and then they come back Saturday night against Florida, a team that typically gives them problems. These are 2 games the Capitals really need to have and really need to get going. I mean, they're not in a situation like the Rangers who are sitting 1-5-1 at the bottom of the division and looking like they could miss the playoffs.
Hey, the Canadians stink too, right? I mean, who knew about that?
Yeah, they're not playing well at all. I don't like their defense. I think they're slow on the back end. So I think they have issues. They're not getting goals. Jonathan Drouin's not playing well. And, here's another guy like Burakovsky, has a lot of talent, just not coming out of the gate playing well. The other thing I don't like about the Capitals right now is the way some of the defensemen are playing. I mean, if you look at the guys, you look at the veteran guys, you have Carlson, you got Dmitry Orlov, you had Niskanen, he got hurt, and you have Brooks Orpik. Of those 4, the only guy who's playing above expectations right now is Brooks Orpik. He's playing a lot more minutes than was planned, and he's had to. John Carlson is playing a lot of minutes, but the production's not there. I'm seeing bad decisions. I'm seeing shots not getting on net. That guy really needs to do something. I know he's playing a lot of minutes and he's eating minutes, but he needs to start producing. Dmitry Orlov, very erratic. And part of that is he's not with his partner, Matt Niskanen, And even Niskanen before he got hurt was not playing well.
Wouldn't you say Orlov's erratic in general? The trust factor on him isn't great historically.
No, it hasn't been. It wasn't until like mid-January or the mid-year last year, January 1st, where this guy really took it to the next level. And they went out and they paid him $5.1 million a year. And right before Hughes gives the puck away on the winning goal, Orlov has the puck by the side of the net and he gets hit from behind a bit, but you got to stay on your skates right there. You can't get hit like that and turn the puck over and then force your rookie to have to make a bad play. That's a play where Orlov has got to find a way to get that puck out. And he's just as guilty as Hughes was on the winning goal, and Kuznetsov right there as well, because his man in front scored because he didn't tie him up. That's twice this year that key goals against the Capitals, one in Tampa and on Wednesday night against Toronto. He doesn't tie his man up in his own zone. So not only is he not scoring goals, Kuznetsov, he's not playing well on his own end. So I know he has 11 assists, and that's great, but a lot of that is because Alex Ovechkin was on fire and his shot. Kuznetsov's got to amp his game up. He's getting paid big money. The team can't afford to have him not going consistently each night.
Well, Ed Frankovic joining us here. He is Ed Frankovic on Twitter, and of course, Ed at WNST.net. The one thing I'll say is when you give up 8 goals to the Flyers on my birthday, there's plenty of film to be looking at for breakdowns defensively because, there have been more bad, real things, I would think, for Trotz to be showing these guys this week than good things. Last thing for you, over in the Western Conference, boy, the Vegas Golden Knights are the big story in the league. They've gotten off to this incredible start, and the Edmonton Oilers have been a turd so far, huh? So have the Minnesota Wild to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas blew a 3-goal lead in the third period on Wednesday night, but managed to win in overtime against Buffalo. They're off to a hot start. They have some good defensemen. Marc-Andre Fleury and Neto got hurt. He has a concussion, so he's on long-term injured reserve like the Caps have Niskanen on reserve. So Subban, the goalie they picked up from the Bruins on the waiver wire, been playing in net, and he had a very good game against the Bruins earlier in the week, but the question is, can their goaltending hold up? We're going to see if McBee's strategy on the expansion draft is going to pay off. I still think he probably should have taken Grubauer. In the end, I think the Capitals are going to be happy he didn't, because the way the Capitals are playing defensively and giving up so many shots, they're going to need both goalies. I mean, Braden Holtby's playing exceptional right now. That 1-0 game, it really was a 1-0 game on Wednesday night. The Leafs got an empty net. If not for Holtby, that game is over early. Out west, Edmonton, I'm not sure what's going on there. I know Draisaitl's not playing right now, and he's a big factor, so teams can focus on McDavid and try and shut him down. But I think Edmonton will turn it on. The Wild are playing well. The Blues are playing well. There's a lot of teams out there. But I really think the East is more balanced, and the East is going to be more of a fight for the playoffs. And the Capitals just can't afford to give away these points and have these inconsistent efforts. They gotta really get their game going. And these guys, Kuznetsov, Burakovsky, Orlov, they were given money in the offseason to produce, and it's time they start doing it.
Ed Frankovic joining us here. He is our Caps historian, insider, blogger, all of the above. Caps back on the ice in Detroit on Friday, back at home on home ice on Saturday, where they did not play well at all on Tuesday night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Friday is my Dundalk High Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It starts at 4:30 in the auditorium, 6 o'clock game time, and we're going to be gathering at Costas. Anybody wants to say hello, come have a beer, come have some crabs, some crab cakes. Love to see you. My family will be there. All come one, come all. I have no idea what to tell Pete and Nick over at Costa about how many folks are coming by. We'll be in the bar. How about that? Imagine that. Me in the bar in Dundalk. 7 o'clock on Friday night. Would love to see your face in the place. Some old friends, some new friends who maybe give a hoot about the old Owls. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be in Minneapolis on Saturday and Sunday. Game time. We'll be out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, and, of course, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. Luke's on the backfields in Owings Mills. If there's any breaking news, you get that first on the WNST text service. That's all brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. And Dennis Colossus will be here on Thursday, driving you home, getting you ready for the weekend as always. Morning newspaper ships to your email inbox at 7 a.m. each and every morning. That's all powered up by Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com, where it's still $10 a month to get in the best shape of your life. Anytime, anywhere, you can listen to WNST.net live in the BuyAToyota.com audio vault. We're there 24 hours a day. For your listening pleasure, you can download the TuneIn Radio app and listen even from New Zealand, even from London on the tube. I know, I've done it. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.